Baylor's Director of Athletics, Mack Rhoades, with us many times during the year, most of the time on Tuesday. On a lot of occasion, we allow him to get away to Big 12 meetings, NCAA things, and maybe even a break in his life as well. Good afternoon. I guess I have to ask you, when did you ever first know about Bret Bielema?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I didn't think. You know of him as the possible candidate with the Big 12?
Thank you for asking and phrasing it that way, because quite frankly, really can't talk about it. But like the rest of you, everyone else certainly heard the name last night, and candidly, not anybody that I know and or have ever crossed paths with, but if it's true, and no reason to believe that it's not, we'll look forward to working with him, and hopefully making the Big 12 a extremely viable conference, continue to be an extremely viable conference, which I think it is, and we talked about it coming out of the Dallas meetings and the energy, and just looking forward to the future of the Big 12.
One of the things, whether it's Bill Smith or whoever it is, one of the things you've mentioned, even from day one when Bob Bowlesby decided he was going to retire, and you've said this before about how the Big 12 needed to think outside the box, a big thinker, deal maker, finding additional and creative revenue streams. Is that something that seems to check all the boxes with what you want?
Yeah, I mean, again, candidly, I don't know, but I do think that for example, if we go into the upcoming TV negotiations, we go into it and negotiate and present ourselves as normal, as we have traditionally. I think we're going to end up with what you would expect, a very, very traditional type agreement, and I think we're going to have to be really creative. I think we're going to have to really hope for partners that want to grow relationships, that want to, try new things, do some things, different, explore different ideas. We're gonna have to, paint a vision for the future and conceptualize what this could really look like. If it's just about numbers and data, then I think that certainly we'll land in a good place, but maybe not as good a place as we can. So again, whoever that person is, I'm looking forward to it, and again, certainly as we have this conversation, I think about Commissioner Bowlesby, and hats off to him for doing such a great job, and again, in the midst of just a lot of things changing.
Mack, how exciting is it for the conference? And I'm not just trying to pump sunshine here, but look, there are a lot of negatives we can say, or things and headaches. We talk about them all the time about the changing world of college athletics. But for a conference like the Big 12 to essentially be almost born anew and be able to try things that have never been tried before and do things that haven't been done before when it comes to whether it is media negotiations or scheduling or all that you kind of have a clean slate in front of you.
Yeah, I think Paul, I think it's really, really important. I think this is a wonderful opportunity out in front of us. I think my other colleagues in the conference believe the same, and just like I think this is going to be a great opportunity for Baylor, and I said great opportunity. I didn't say easy opportunity. there's going to be some difficult times and difficult conversations and difficult decisions as we think about, all of the things that we may have to navigate here in the future. But, I think it's an opportunity for Baylor to be a shining light in the midst of all of this chaos. And, I think if we do it right with the Big 12, I think, the Big 12 can shine bright amongst the five as we navigate, the next 5 years and, bringing in the four and transitioning out the two. I think we have this opportunity to land in a really, really good place.
Mack, where do you feel like Baylor Athletics is in terms of becoming, a permanent fixture? Not so much like the blue blood and thing like that, but how much untapped potential do you think that there still is? Because this has been a conference that's basically been run by a couple of brands now for well over a decade. They're going to need some places like Baylor, Oklahoma State, Iowa State, et cetera, to carry more of a load. How well equipped do you feel to do that? And do you feel like Baylor's one of those schools that can be, that front-facing program for the Big 12 Conference?
Well, I say this really with all humility. I think we've been in that place. When you think about football, men's basketball, women's basketball winning conference championships within a calendar year, and that certainly hasn't been done many times at all. And I think with the addition of new facilities and long-term contracts for Coach Aranda, for Coach Drew, and for Nikki, and then all of our other head coaches, I hate not including them, but they've all done an unbelievable job. A new baseball coach now. I think we're in good position, Craig. I guess here's what I tell young employees when they're first starting out. Be great at what you do. Become invaluable. Like if you really become great at what you do and not worry about all of the other noise, your career trajectory is gonna take care of itself, right? And assuming that you treat people the right way. And for us here at Baylor, I guess I'm not worried and focused on where we're positioned within the conference. I'm worried and focused on just us being the very best that we can be every single day, and I still believe our best days are ahead of us. And I think if we do that, our place in terms of our place nationally, and our place within the conference will take care of itself. And so we're going to continue to pound the rock. We're going to continue to work at it and attack it in that manner and in that fashion. And if we can do that at an elite level, all of the other stuff will take care of itself. Isn't
that almost the same philosophy the Big 12 is using and wants to use as they move forward?
I hope. I guess. I hope that's the philosophy that we embrace and in our mantra that we take on. We put our head down and grind it out and worry about making great decisions and executing at a really high level and we'll see where we land.
You introduced your baseball coach in Mitch Thompson on Thursday. We've had a chance to have him join us, and also Zach Dillon. I know the pitching coach also is locked in as well. Can you try to describe, and as you said in the press conference, that that you know a bunch of former players and others were rooting for him, but that's not why he was hired. Mitch was hired on his own, what he's done with his own resume. Can you try to explain the reaction you have received as far as the momentum, the surge in interest back with the baseball program?
Yeah, I mean, so I've been told that it's been really, really positive, and you guys know this. I stay away from social media because I never want to tilt one way or the other. I want to remain as objective as I can possibly remain. But look, I know that the reaction has been extremely, extremely positive by many. You know, starting with our own Baylor family, and that includes former players and you know, just, you know, fans and donors, and so there's a lot of energy and momentum, and you know, I thought you know, Mitch did a great job of being himself and who he is at the press conference, and you saw the emotion. You know, what I saw was a person who has an opportunity to have his dream job, and you can see that, and you can feel it. You know, I saw him in the hallways today. He's running now. He's getting after it. And as you mentioned, you know, the addition of Zach, you know, as our hitting coach, and bringing him back, you know, as part of the staff, and you know, I think that means a lot. You know, he was on that team that went to the World Series, and then, you know, James Leverton. Mitch talked so highly of James throughout the interview, and you know, just he thinks James has got this tremendous upside. So, you know, I think we're certainly on our way, and we, you know, we've got, you know, the ops position to fill, and the volunteer coach to fill, and the player personnel position to fill, but he's working on those, and again, doing all of that while trying to continue to connect with our current roster and build for the future. So, but it's been an exciting time for Baylor baseball.
Mack, is it fair to say, and I don't know if you try to do this, but it is every time somebody comes up and talks to me about a new coach you've hired, particularly the last couple weeks about Mitch, it's been, you know, we really don't know what Mack is going to do. And I said, isn't that's kind of, I think, what he wants, that you don't really have a box that you like to put people in when you have an open job to fill. It's just, I need a baseball coach that fits this, but there's nothing I'm looking at in the surface before I go in.
Yeah, I think that's accurate, Paul. I mean, obviously, you know, we've talked about it. We've got our list of characteristics, but, you know, we're pretty open-minded. You know, I certainly believe in that, because I think if you're not, you know, you may miss out on somebody. Now, you know, you can't be completely open-minded for very long. Otherwise, you're trying to, you know, interview 50 people. But, you know, look, we don't let geography necessarily limit us. We don't let, you know, head coach versus assistant coach limit us. You know, we don't necessarily college pro limit us. I mean, you know, we try to have a wide net to begin with, and then, you know, systematically narrow it down. But yeah, I just feel like, you know, if you've got this narrow scope going into it, I don't know, you may miss out on somebody that's really, really special, and you know, probably wouldn't have hired, you know, a Matt Rhoades because he was from the Northeast, or wouldn't have hired a Dave Aranda because he wasn't a head coach, and you know, he's quiet. So just, again, trying to be open-minded as you enter into the process.
Mack, last week, another first-round pick for Baylor men's basketball, second year in a row with a top 10 pick, second year in a row with the number 9 overall pick. as Jeremy Sohan joined Davion Mitchell in that regard. Kendall Brown also gets drafted a little bit later than I think everybody would have liked, but he gets drafted nonetheless. Your thoughts on seeing those two and their pro dreams come true just a few days ago?
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, it's awesome for them, first and foremost. It's awesome for them and their families, and so happy, thrilled for them. But it's great for, Baylor University, our brand. That certainly means something, and it's great for our basketball program. And, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but you have to start talking about, Scott Drew and the men's basketball program, just the number of players that they've developed and have headed to the NBA. And, Scott and the staff is such an unbelievable job. And, Jeremy, I love that kid. Like he wasn't here very long, but I think it's a testament to him, just the number of people he touched in the short time because of his personality. Because, he had, even though, he was naive and could almost, be like a 14-year-old with his eyes wide open, just, looking at everything. He also had some great maturity about him, as a teammate and as a player on the floor. And man, that was just so good to see it, because I also know that he'll take upon the responsibility. He'll do it in a really, really good way with his family, his mom and dad and that support system. And then again, Kendall, there's been a lot of pressure on Kendall and that and his family, a 5-star kid, and, all of the hype and everything. And, he has found a way to continue to just believe in himself. And, I think he's a player that has tremendous upside, and he's got a great chance because of the person he is. And again, his family support. So fired up for both of those young men.
Mack, if you don't mind, one more question. As the Big 12 moves forward, eventually with the new 4 coming in almost a year from now, you hear a lot about logos and blue bloods and whatever. And do you feel like that the 12, no matter how long Texas and Oklahoma remain in the Big 12, do you feel like that the mix of what you have, including what you've done, that there's a chance others can rise to the occasion? Craig kind of brought that up. And do you feel good about overall who you are as a conference, no matter what people think of logos and blue bloods?
Yeah, I think that, the future of the 12, when we just think about athletically, competitively, pick any sport, I think we have a chance to compete with the very best at an extremely high level, whether you think that's the SEC or some other conference. I absolutely believe that, and I think we have a lot of programs in this conference that have great upside, and I think they're all dedicated to growing their athletic programs. I think this is going to be a really, really tough conference from 1 to 12, and there won't be a lot of separation between any of us. And so I don't know. I think this is a conference that 5 years from now we're gonna say, wow, each of these institutions, each of these athletic programs have really grown, and like they're competing for national championships in everything.
Mack, final thing from me. I know you can't get into specifics like names and things like that, but I know that you do keep track of recruiting for all your programs, and football's had these visits here over the last month. Today marked the 6th straight day that they picked up a new commitment in football, and just here in the month of June, here on June 28th, there's been 11 pledges in the last month alone. Can you feel from your spot, from your position, can you feel some momentum right now with Baylor football on the recruiting trail?
Yeah, I can, and I'm sure Coach Aranda is tired of me, asking him all the time and play by play. But look, it's the lifeblood of your program, and he and again all of our staff that are in the trenches. They're doing a great job, and and I think this is one of our strengths. We had a head coaches retreat, and one of the themes is was for us, it's all about who we are and not what we have, and we're gonna continue that theme, and I think that that's part of the momentum with football going on right now.
Mack, thank you for your time. Mack Rhoades, enjoy some of the summer as we get close to Big 12 Media Days. Mack Rhoades, Director of Athletics at Baylor University. And I know when I asked that first question that